thoughts are coming to you, and all of a sudden you're talking about a kid who's riding a bike and he gets attacked by a werewolf. Like, where the is this coming from? If it's not coming from the muse, where is it coming from? Well, it's coming from my creativity. Okay. Do you know how to access your creativity like you can blink? No, you don't. Do you know how to access your activity like you can lick something or perform any sort of physical function that's repeatable? No, you don't. It's a non-repeatable thing. Treat it like it's magic, but treat it like you're a professional and you show up to engage with the magic. So every day at the same time, you sit down in front of your keyboard and you start working and just put in the work and force yourself to do it. You force it like a muscle.
We all got the gift. There's something that we've all been blessed with. At some point, if we listen to that little thing that speaks to us inside, some people call it instinct. Some people call it a vibe. Some people call it an energy. Whatever you call it. Some people call it a voice. Whatever that thing is, bro. If it sparks the thought that changes the whole trajectory to what your life can evolve into because you took a second to listen to that shit, you are identifying with your blessing. You are identifying with your gift. And at that point, you learn what the fuck it is and become one with it and walk in your purpose, bro.
Will prohibit me from furthering myself in life. That's what I was told. At the moment, I said, damn, maybe I should have applied myself. Maybe I should have did different. When I saw all my friends get their test scores back and they were ecstatic, 800s, 900s, 960s, everybody's going to college. I felt like the biggest idiot in the world. The biggest idiot in the fucking world, because the same people that I went and rushed to go to Great Adventure with, they had taken the SAT the week before. They already got their work done. They did everything they were supposed to do, so that moment of fun was real fun for them. I was the only dumbass that didn't prioritize and take care of my shit. So I'm the only one going to community college. Everybody else off to Villanova, Temple University, Drexel University. God damn. I just got left behind. Why didn't y'all tell me that y'all did it the week before? How come y'all ain't tell me that we was serious about the college shit? Y'all ain't telling me y'all was trying to go to Temple or Drexel? Oh, wait. It's because my life isn't their life. They're focused on themselves. Wow, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
One of these days, you'll be sitting on a front porch somewhere.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully y'all are doing well. We're about to get started in the next few minutes. Please share this link out with your friends, your family, your Discord communities, Telegram communities. Just share this link out. We appreciate everybody for tuning in and tapping in with us this morning. We will get started very soon. Thank you again. And as always, hope you all enjoy the show.
And you won't hardly know what's going on. So don't give up. If times are hard, good things nor bad things last forever. But most generally, we are in control of our own destiny. And when I say that, I mean this. If you're not getting ahead, you need to do something to allow yourself to get ahead.
And what a time now for us to take this dream and not let it die. Take this dream and give it life. Take this dream and breathe into it your own personal spirit until finally it becomes a flame that burns around the whole world. Let's go do it now.
Always stick to what makes you weird, odd, strange, different. That's your source of power, which is similar to occupy your niche. Embrace your strangeness, identify what makes you different, fuse those things together and become an anomaly.
When you set a dream and you say, this is what I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you make a plan, and the plans are good. But if you come to a certain point where there's a tree across the road or the bridge is out, You can't say, well, there goes my dream. You've got to be flexible. Well, what am I going to do? What adjustments am I going to make to be able to still get to where I'm going, to be what I want to be? You need some flexibility. You need discipline.
Good morning, family. Sheesh. I don't know, man. I feel like they was talking to me this morning on that on that audio. Good morning, everybody. You need discipline. You definitely need discipline. This morning has been one of those mornings for me. I'm gonna be real with y'all. If I got to run off, I'm not feeling too good. Just my stomach a little bit. I don't know if it's something I ate last night or whatever, but if I run off, y'all know what I went to do. But we're gonna hold it down. We're gonna hold it down and make this the best show that we possibly can. I hope that you all have your beverage of choice this morning. I'm drinking a big old cup of coffee this morning. All right, big old mug of coffee this morning. Definitely to go ahead and lighten the mood. So cheers to each and every single one of my peers and all my friends out there that's tuning in and locking in with us. We are now at 258 episodes. All right, cheers to y'all. All right, and we call today's episode is entitled live on YouTube. It's entitled 10 XRP ETFs, Applications and Counting. XRP is the future. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I do want to spend time talking about a real world use case and kind of some idealizations around this, some ideals that I may have, maybe some ideas that you may have. Maybe you're in the real estate space, you're interested in getting the real estate space today. I want to talk a little bit, all right, about the real world asset use case for real estate and how blockchain is going to help change a lot of these proposals, change the way that real estate is done, from purchasing to lending, to borrowing, to renting, to fractionalization. We're going to talk about all those basic things of how real estate will be shifted and impacted in the space. And so if you're in the world and right now and you are an investor or you have a job, it is time for you to really start thinking, right? It doesn't matter what your gift is. It is truly time for us to all start thinking about how tokenization of real world assets that you already hold or that you already create, right, can be issued out on the blockchain. How can we tokenize these real world assets? This is something that I believe that we are going to lead the way in here in Coffee and Crypto. One of our high focuses right now is connecting in with business owners and investors, people who have businesses that are looking to go on chain. We can help you here at Coffee and Crypto. So if there's anybody that does have a business, whether that's real estate, whether that's an artist, whether that is it doesn't matter what it is, right? Whatever your business is, you come sit down with us here at Coffee and Crypto, and we can help you strategize on maybe one of the best blockchains that you might be able to build that solution on. So just to give you all a little bit of an idea, that's going to be the first part of this show today. And then we'll dive into a little bit of news. We'll talk about the XRP ETFs and the ideas around that. But I really want to talk about tokenization this morning. So if that's okay with y'all, just go ahead and do me a favor and drop some coffee in the chat box, drop some coffee in the comments on YouTube, and let's really get this thing started. Welcome to the call, and I appreciate you all so much for being here. Now, before we do get started, I do want to make sure that I say this right. I want to say that Coffee and Crypto Network is not a financial advising show. It is for entertainment purposes only. So all of the information that you're getting here, all the different blockchain networks and investment opportunities, you want to make sure that you go out and consult with a licensed financial advisor. And if your financial advisor is not able to talk to you about crypto, you can also find certain strategy companies, Coffee and Crypto Network. We do have a strategy arm here at Coffee and Crypto Network where we could at least help you develop strategies and give you real world use cases and real world information that you can take to do your own research. Please make sure you do your own research and do not invest into the opportunities here on the show before you have the opportunity to sit down and make sure that they align with your investment vision. Let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm going to start sharing my screen and we're going to go ahead and jump straight in. How y'all feeling this morning? Let me know in the chat box. How everybody feeling? Let me check over on YouTube. All right, cool. Somebody said they sipping on a smoothie this morning, man. All right, cool. That's what's up. Shout out to the healthy folks in the building, man. Got y'all smoothies together. What else y'all sipping on this morning? Let me know what you're sipping on. Let me also know in the comments where you're calling in from. So do those two things. Where you calling in from, right? And in the same message, what are you sipping on? All right. And if you ain't sipping on nothing this early, man, go get yourself a cup of water. Do something, right? Make sure you parch. Make sure you get that thirst quenched. All right. Get that thirst quenched. Now, let me go ahead and share my screen for y'all. And the very first thing we're going to watch here this morning is actually a video from Solana. Okay, it's actually a video from Solana. It was an ad that they dropped, I believe it was yesterday, and they immediately and abruptly deleted it. Now, I'm gonna play it, and then I would love in the comments for y'all to let me know. I would love in the comments for y'all to let me know what is it, right? What is it that you guys have? What I guess what ideas does this particular video give you? Enjoy.
So, America, what's going on?
Well, lately, I've been having thoughts again.
What thoughts?
About innovation. Multiplanetary travel, nuclear energy, crypto, AI. Things that push the limits of human potential.
What you're experiencing is called rational thinking syndrome. Why don't we take this energy and channel it into something more productive, like coming up with a new gender?
But that's not going to stop me thinking about innovating and doing something.
Innovating, doing, these are action words, verbs. Why don't we focus on pronouns?
That's not going to help.
I sense some cynicism. Have you been betrayed in the past?
I used to think the media was my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Can I even trust them anymore?
Of course.
Of course they'd say that. That's a biased take. I got canceled for saying 2 + 2 is 4.
Have you ever considered that math is a spectrum?
What?
America. Numbers are non-binary. We've been conditioned to believe that 2 + 2 is 4. It's a societal construct.
It's literally math.
Or is it a dominant narrative? Have you been practicing the state-prescribed regulations we talked about?
Yeah. I've debanked some crypto founders, and I've slowed down nuclear reactor approvals. And depending on my state of mind, I change the SEC guidelines, but I don't like it.
If we don't regulate, how will we create jobs for people who work hard to make businesses slow?
You know what? Hard work, innovation, rational thinking, it's in my blood. It's who I am. Railroads, factories, automobiles. I built the future once, and I won't be left behind now. I will lead the world in permissionless tech, build on chain, and reclaim my place as the beacon of innovation. I want to invent technologies, not genders.
Lovely. So glad you were able to get some of that negative emotion out. Sounds like we'll need a few more sessions. When can I see you next?
You're fired.
Yes. May 19th to the 23rd, the Solana Accelerate Conference 2025. It's time to make America great again. And also, man, just bring back the real, man. Like, you know what I mean? Never have I ever seen so many people confused, right? People are just really confused out here in so many ways. But you know what? I don't want to get into too many people's views because that's not what we do here on this show. But I wanted to show you all what's going on in Solana. They dropped a bold video and immediately they took it down, right? But that was a very bold video. I would love to know y'all's thoughts on that before we jump into the show this morning. I see my brother Matt, Matt going crazy over there. Easy money, man. Easy money. You got anything to say, brother, about what you think about that video? What does that bring to mind? If you're not in the space to unmute, you don't have to. I just saw you saying some stuff.
No, you good. I got a couple Solana memes, so hopefully Solana takes off. But no, I just thought that was pretty bold. They trying to hit some hit some people's nerves possibly.
Oh, they definitely doing some nerve damage on that one. Nah, for sure. Miss one of our members over in Discord, she said, I think the counselor needs counseling. Absolutely needs some counseling, right? So yeah, I don't know when I don't know when it became, I don't know when numbers became non-binary, but hey, we're living in a wicked world right now. We're living in a world where like change is drastically happening. And it's up to us, right? The future, to make sure that things don't continue to push forward in that direction. Next thing we have going on, I want to just jump over straight into the markets. Okay, right now, where are we sitting? We are still at a 25 fear. You know what I'm saying? We are still at a 25 fear. All right. The market cap is at a $2.67 trillion market cap. All right. And like we said, it is altcoin. It's not altcoin season just yet. We are heavy in Bitcoin season. This is extremely bullish. And I'm looking at these three charts, or whatever we want to call them, right? But the first one is our sentiment chart, fear and greed sentiment index. And we know that we buy the fear. So we're still in buying territory based off of sentiment. The market is down overall. We're at 2.67. I remember, guys, when we were literally at $3 trillion. So we are down, okay, $400 billion plus right now in the crypto market, meaning this is time to go ahead and start positioning your liquidity, positioning your investment opportunity. Sorry, y'all. And the last thing is the altcoin season. All right. As you can see, it's still Bitcoin season, right? So that means you have to look at the altcoin season meter the same way we look at the fear and greed meter, right? And the altcoin season meter is showing us that we are heavy in Bitcoin, meaning if I were to look at this the same way, I don't want to buy altcoins when we are on this side of the spectrum. I want to buy altcoins when we're over here in a dominant Bitcoin market, because that means the altcoin market overall is down. Anybody get what I'm saying with that? Just go ahead and drop some 777s in the chat box. I just want to make sure that y'all understand and get exactly what I'm talking about here, right? But this is a good time, all right, to start researching and getting into certain altcoins. And if you all don't know what altcoins mean, for all the new people, altcoin is just anything that's not Bitcoin. There's over 20,000 different cryptocurrencies out there, and an altcoin is anything that is not a Bitcoin. All right. So as you can see, we are still in the red, majority red for the last 7 days and 24 hours. Majority of our cryptos are red. We do have some green stuff going on, but as you can see, a lot of it is red. And when there is blood in the streets, that is the time for us to do what? Time for us to eat. Okay. Now, I want to play this quick video right here. This is going to lead us into what we're going to talk about with the real world asset tokenization of real estate. I hope you all enjoy.
I'm here with Secretary Burgum to talk about our nation's housing affordability crisis. We need more affordable homes in America, about 7 million to be exact. And my friend here oversees the use of our federal land.
That's right. Our federal lands are an incredible asset on America's balance sheet. And we've been discussing how we can efficiently and effectively steward these underutilized areas to solve our nation's affordable housing crisis.
Well, today we're announcing a partnership between the Department of Interior and the Department of Housing and Urban Development that will unlock federal lands for the benefit of all Americans. And here's a glimpse of what this new agreement will do. HUD will work with DOI to assess the housing needs in areas where federal lands may be available yet underutilized, and implement tailored housing programs with guidance from states and localities.
This partnership will identify underutilized federal lands suitable for residential development and streamline the land transfer process. It'll also promote policies to increase the availability of affordable housing while balancing important environmental and land use considerations.
All right, so let's sign this agreement and get to work.
You signed that like a pro, like maybe you've given a few autographs out in your life, I'm thinking, but well, it's official.
Yes, sir.
I saw the paper.
Here we go.
All right. So I want to, real quick before we move forward, excuse me, y'all. This is two different departments, okay? You have the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is known as HUD, and you have the U.S. Department of Interior, which is the DOI. They're two separate federal agencies with different responsibilities. All right. The HUD, okay, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, okay, is particularly for low-income individuals and families, right? Its key functions include public and affordable housing, typically Section 8, right, and in public housing, fair housing enforcements, community developments, homeless assistance, and FHA loans. Okay, so those are some of the things that are focused on through the HUD program. Okay, Scott Turner, okay, who was the gentleman that was in that video, the black guy that was in the video, he said, we need 7 million affordable homes in America. And 20% of America's land mass is owned by the Department of the Interior. Today, okay, both secretaries and I announced, both of the secretaries announced a partnership between HUD and Interior to identify and open underutilized federal lands for affordable housing. I need your minds to start turning and churning as to what opportunities this creates for tokenization, right? What opportunities does this create for a chance for you to be a part of the revolution of blockchain? What opportunities does this create for you to be able to crowdfund money and be able to bring investment opportunities together? We can, these are things we can do here in Coffee and Crypto as a unit. But before we can even do it, we have to know about it. See, you until you're exposed to it, you can always say, I didn't know. But once you're exposed to it, you can't use the same excuse as I didn't know. You get what I'm saying? Now, the DOI, the U.S. Department of the Interior, primarily manages federal lands, natural resources, and Native American affairs. So they're the people that's over national parks and public lands, Native American affairs, wildlife conservation, and the energy and minerals. So those are heavily connected. So the DOI owns the land, right? The HUD builds properties on the land. So they have to come together. And so I love to show these types of synergies and these types of collaborations, right? Because it shows us, because if these two, public entities can come together and do things, why can't we as private entities come together and make a large impact as well, right? So that's the first thing that I saw. Now, how do they meet, right? How does Scott Turner and Secretary Burgum, okay, how do they come up and meet this 7 million affordable homes in America by 20% of America's land mass? How do they do that, right? Well, the first thing is on the Daily Huddle, okay, this came out on March 11th, a couple days ago. The Department of Housing and Urban Development is exploring the use of blockchain and stablecoins to track their grants. So remember, y'all, okay, remember, they do FHA loans. There's also community development opportunities within the HUD, right? They provide grants, okay, to support urban and rural development, okay? Urban and rural development, okay? And so these grants are funded, okay? And so how does the HUD track these grants better? How do they manage these grants better? How do they lower the fees of these grants better? Because grants is moving money. How do they do this, right? They do it through blockchain and they do it through stable coins. So check this out, y'all. So they said it here. Irving Dennis, HUD's principal deputy chief financial officer, has reportedly been driving the blockchain conversation, according to one unnamed official at the department, though Dennis denied that the idea to ProPublica. Dennis previously worked as a partner at the accounting giant EY, Ernst Young, which reportedly sent an executive to discuss the blockchain idea with HUD officials earlier this year. Ernst Young confirmed that discussions took place according to this particular publication. HUD has also reportedly explored the use of stablecoins. The blockchain and stablecoin discussion have generated some concerns at the executive department. Okay. HUD officials said, I don't see any way this will help anything. I see a lot of ways this could hurt. Okay. So there's still this issue with understanding blockchain. So they quote Elon Musk in this article as well. Say Elon Musk, who heads President Donald Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has reportedly looked into leveraging blockchain to slash government expenses, monitor federal outlays, shield U.S. data against bad actors, process payments, and manage properties. Okay, so this is moving forward. And so the HUD is now being presented this opportunity to the forefront of their business, right? And this just shows me that, man, we really got to get moving, right? If we are going to make an impact and we're going to be pioneers of this space, right? We really got to get moving. Like every single day, there's something new that's happening. And with us missing the opportunity, even with HUD, to go sit down with them and talk to them about this, that's an opportunity that is missed. And I could have went and sat in front of them. You could have went and sat in front of them. That's what I need you to understand, because what makes the person working for Ernst Young, what makes them more valuable than you? What makes them more valuable than us? Because they've been studying the same information that we have right in front of us, and they don't know a damn thing differently than we do, right? Everybody's figuring it out. So it's time for us to just make moves, right? Because if you don't make moves, you're going to miss out on all of the opportunity. Okay. I just need y'all to realize and see what I'm saying here right now. I went over to CNN. Okay. And there's been a huge change in the housing market, right, since the pandemic. Pay attention to this video.
Been watching the numbers. Housing starts rose in June, but building permits fell. What are you seeing in terms of demand here and signs of softening, especially with record home prices continuing?
Yeah, great question. We're seeing no signs of softening, actually. Demand continues to accelerate, as has been the case since just after the pandemic started. I think, you saw single family starts about 111,000 in June, up 28% year over year. But importantly, folks say that there were a lot of dynamics in the second quarter of last year. But if you go back to the second quarter of 2019, single family housing starts were up 34%. So importantly, we have not a demand problem right now, but we do have a supply problem. And I think that's evidenced by a lot of constraints, from everything from lumber to hardware to even appliances to finish homes.
You've got an ear to the housing market. So I'm wondering if you see permanent changes from the pandemic, and does a return to the office slow down the market?
I really don't think there's a slowdown in sight. I think what's lost on people is, what is happening in the market today is we have 82 million millennials that weren't in the market prior to 2007 and 2008 when we had the great financial crisis. They're in the market in strengths. Behind them are coming Generation Z at about 86 million. And so I think what we've seen here in terms of the uptick in demand is going to be sustainable. And importantly, you might have seen that Freddie Mac said earlier this year that over the last 10 years, the housing industry has been about 4 million units underbuilt. I've seen numbers as high as 5 or 6 million. But you take that underbuilding for the last decade and the strength of the demand, that's upon us now. We're bullish not just for now, but for the next several years.
Okay, Dave Flitman, great talking with you. Thanks for your time.
So no housing market construct in sight. So Wall Street is buying up family homes. The rent checks are too juicy to ignore. Now, this article was from 2021. Okay. And I want you all to see what's happening, right? So Wall Street is buying up family homes. Who's a part of Wall Street? Well, you have huge companies that we already know, like BlackRock, right? Like State Street, like Vanguard. These are some of the largest asset holders in the world, the largest asset holders in the world. And their goal is to own all of the real estate market, right? So if you all look at this headline right here, US Giants buys up thousands of British homes as private equity cashes in on renting to families. Now you're probably like, Vincent, what does this have to do with me, right? Why are you talking about rent, right? Like my rent coming up in a couple of days. Why are you trying to remind me of rent? Well, I need y'all to realize something, okay? There's the way they're doing this is called tokenization. They're about to start tokenizing real estate projects. They want to build more homes, and then they want to come together and own more homes. Would it make sense for BlackRock to purchase all these homes by themselves? Or would it make more sense for them to tokenize it and for all the asset managers to come together, put their money together? Because see, BlackRock can buy a lot of homes by themselves, but if BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, and Grayscale came together, okay, and just the four of those came together and said, hey, we're going to do a tokenization initiative in this city, in these couple of cities, well, they could come together, melch money together, come together with trillions and trillions of dollars and actually do what it is that they want to say. See, you got to realize that BlackRock is a major contributor and a major leader and a major collaborator of the World Economic Forum. In the World Economic Forum, they said by 2030, they said that you will own nothing and be happy with it. This is the first generation ever, okay, and beyond this, but we are the first generation as millennials that majority of us will never own a home. I want y'all to hear me out. You will never own a home. And I want you to think about it this way. If you never own a home or you own a home, that's cool, right? If you own a home now, okay, you're in a position, okay? But you only own one home. So I need you to really think about that. Buying a house today and sitting on the house is not as lucrative and it's not as amazing as it was back in the day in the 50s or the 60s or the 40s when the American dream was different, right? Owning a home today ain't even that precious, y'all. I mean, and maybe me not being a homeowner is speaking from maybe a lack of knowledge. But just to be honest with you, it ain't all that cool to me to own one house. I mean, like I'm too much of an investor. So why do I want to own one house when I can go and build multiple? I could build an apartment complex with this crypto money and I can rent out too. So just owning a house to me today isn't the end all be all, but if you own one, you are in a great position, right? However, I want y'all to think about this. Today, who do you rent from? Let's say right now you're renting a room in a house, or you're renting in a basement, or you're renting an apartment from not a huge corporation that's sitting on Wall Street or in New York City somewhere, but a mom and pop rental management company, right? Here in whatever city you're in, but I'm just going to say here in Atlanta, okay? Let's say you fell behind on your rent for a month or 2 months. You could go to your landlord because you have their number, or you can go to the front of the neighborhood and go sit down with them and ask them for an extension or beg for grace and forgiveness, right? So today you have that luxury, but tomorrow, when BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard owns all these houses and apartments and you're renting from them, you can't call a big corporation sitting in 52nd Street in New York City or whatever. You can't call them, okay, and ask for forgiveness because number one, they don't care about you, right? They're going to look at you as just another number. They're going to kick you out. They're going to evict you, and you're going to be on the street homeless. This is the real world that we are moving into. They're not going to have the same level of grace. So Vincent, what does this have to do with your show? Well, I'm happy that that was your thought and your idea. Let me explain something to you. Being an investor today, it doesn't have to be crypto, but you need to be invested in something. Crypto is just one of those vehicles that I believe is going to give us a tremendous amount of wealth, right? See, understand this. I'm about to share my screen, and this takes me into my next slide, okay? This takes me into my next slide, okay? So this is a picture from probably the 40s, the 50s, right? The quote says, what if I told you that a single income from one person in a household once provided a home, a car, and a comfortable life for an entire family? An entire family is a dad, a mom, a little boy, and a little girl. That is the American dream. That was the standard house of four. The father going to work and work that entire shift, coming home to his family to provide, was the way that life once was. Well, since we are millennials now, guess what? The shift in the economy has been here, and it's only going to continue to get worse. And now they've taken the feminism out of our women because they can't even stay home and take care of their kids anymore because they got to work just as hard as a man just to provide for a family of four. So it went from one of the parents to both of the parents. No wonder there is no in-home education. No wonder there's no time for love and transparency in the home, right? This is what cryptocurrency is going to allot us. The same lifestyle that one man used to work is the same thing that if you allow your money to work right now in crypto, you will never have to, your family will never worry. Your family will be just like this family here in front of Steinberg's, okay, walking to their store. You will live that dream. But I want you to imagine how many people that you know right now that have $0 in crypto, and they're talking about how hard life is right now. Imagine when all of these artificial intelligence softwares start to kick in. See, Elon Musk just did an interview, and I don't know if I don't think I have the clip. Let me look in as I'm talking. I'm gonna look inside my Twitter. But Elon Musk just had an interview, okay, and it was an interesting interview. But what he actually, I can't find it right now. But what I remember listening to last night when I was doing a little research was that he said that that majority of people. Well, I forgot I actually can't remember what he said. So I don't want to quote things wrong because people be watching my videos these days and they be like, oh no, he ain't say that, right? So I ain't gonna just throw stuff out there. If it comes back to my mind what he said, I'll let y'all know. I can't even think of it right now. I wish I had the clip. But long story short, okay, y'all, I want to go down to this right here. This was the cost of living in 1970. A new house in 1970 was $23,450. The average income was $9,400. A new car was $3,450. Minimum wage was $2 an hour. Okay, movie tickets was $1.55. Gas was 36 cents. Postage stamps was 6 cents. Sugar 39 cents. Milk was 62 cents. Coffee was $1.90 a pound. Eggs was 59 cents a dozen. And bread was 25 cents. Is there anybody on the call that's old enough to remember prices like this? Right? Okay. So I just wanted to, really, really take time to really focus today on the American dream. I really wanted to take the time today to focus on what it's going to take to relive that sense of the American dream, because it's not going to come from work. Actually, I remember what Elon Musk was going to say. Here it is right here. I knew it would come back to me. Elon Musk, he said that in the future, and this is the near future, there will be 800 million AI, robots, real robots, not even AI, but robots. There will be 800 million of them roaming around the world. 800 million robots will be roaming the world within the next 5 to 10 years. Okay? If you wonder, why have they fired all these people from the U.S. Department of Education? Why have they fired all these people from the IRS? Why are they firing people from the SEC? Why are they firing people from HUD? Why are they firing people from all these different places and spaces? The reason why is because all of these replacements, all of these firings are going to have to be replaced by something. And it won't be replaced by human labor and work anymore because they're sick of you being lazy at work. They're sick of you needing smoke breaks. They're sick of you talking about you need a snack. They're sick of you getting sick. They're sick of your kids getting sick. And that sucks. But they sick of little Frank getting sick with a runny nose and you using that as an excuse not to come to work. So guess what? When we put AI and we put a robot in place, I don't got to listen to that from your ass no more. And that's just the real deal Holyfield, right? That's the real deal. So where do I fit in, Vincent? Because this sounds scary. It is scary. But somebody needs to tell you. Somebody needs to give you a wake-up call. I hope that today's call is a wake-up call for you, that we're not going back to Kansas anymore, right? We're not in Kansas anymore, okay? We not. We somewhere else. And you got to learn new skills. You have to be building your skill sets in AI. You have to be building your skill sets in machine learning. You have to be building your skill set in understanding blockchain. You have to be building your skill sets in understanding all of these opportunities ahead of you. Because if not, they will learn you. They will learn your habits and they will replace you. This is just the truth. I need a charger for the computer. Okay, I need my charger. Thank you, baby. Okay. So how we got here, this was an article that was dropped March, well, excuse me, not an article. This is actually a SEC meeting that's coming up. My bad, y'all. This is the SEC meeting that's coming up, okay, on the schedule on March 25th. Excuse me, March 21st. It says how we got here and how we get out, right? Defining security status. So what are we talking about here? The SEC Crypto Task Force will host a series of roundtables to discuss key areas of interest in the regulation of crypto assets. Okay, the Spring Sprint Toward Crypto Clarity series will begin on March 21st with this inaugural roundtable. Sorry, how we got here and how we get out. Defining security status. Okay, the first roundtable will be on March 21st. Okay, who will be at the table? Well, let's look at some of the people. Okay, we have Chris Brummer, who is a professor of financial technology at Georgetown Law. Okay, we have Miles Jennings, who is a general counsel for Andreessen Horowitz. Okay, A16Z Crypto. We have John Reed Stark of John Reed Stark Consulting. Okay, so a bunch of people that are in policy, a bunch of people that are in fintech, bunch of people that's in academia, right, are going to be at this round table, okay? And so this is going to be a very, very important time for cryptocurrency. In the midst of all of that happening, okay, Uphold announced that we now have 10 firms that have now applied for an XRP ETF. It is absolutely inevitable now. There's no stopping us now. We're on the move. There is no stopping us now, XRP Army. We are on the move. The SEC, Bitwise, Canary Capital, 21 Shares, Pro Shares, Wisdom Tree, Coin Shares, Grayscale, Franklin Templeton, Volatility Shares, and Hashdex are now the 10 firms that now have applied for an XRP ETF. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move.
Why do I hold XRP? The World Bank has published a document on its website for cross-border payments. The only cryptocurrencies proposed as solutions are XRP and XLM. The Federal Reserve has formed a task force for faster payments. Member of the group is Ripple. The BIS, Bank of International Settlements, is the head of all central banks worldwide. The BIS has set up a task force for cross-border payments. Member of the group is Ripple. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority has been researching CBDCs. The only blockchain company involved is Ripple. The Bank of Russia has published a document about the digitalization of payments. The report describes XRP as a solution for efficient cross-border payments. The Bank of England carried out a proof of concept with Ripple to explore the speed and efficiency of cross-border payments. Ripple becomes the first provider to offer regulated crypto payments in the United Arab Emirates. The National Commercial Bank of Saudi Arabia has officially joined Ripple. With 400 branches across the country, the National Commercial Bank of Saudi Arabia is the second largest bank in the Middle East by total assets. Since July 2006, the Bank of America has been the largest financial institution in the United States for a time.
And I mean, within, it felt like minutes, you hear from CEOs like Bank of America saying, we're all in. And, these are institutions that Bank of America was one of our early partners.
JP Morgan is the largest bank in the United States. A joint research report with JP Morgan explores the potential to introduce greater efficiencies to wholesale payments occurring across borders. XRP is described several times as a solution in the document. Ripple has relationships to the White House, the President, the Vice President, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Economic Forum. Now, you have to decide. Is XRP a shitcoin or part of a big plan?
Wow. Wow. So the housing market is set to crash. The same way that Bitcoin's crashing right now, the stock market's crashing. Guess who's buying as it's crashing? BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard. They're buying. While you're crying, they're buying. And guess what? When they crash this real estate market for a final time, again, it won't be a final time, but for another time, when we go through another 08 crisis again, okay, guess who's going to buy up your house when it goes under foreclosure? Yes, I'm speaking to the people because the only people that will be safe is people who have their money in places that are not their bank account. Those are the people that will be safe. Because I need you to understand something. If your house is foreclosed on, or if anything happens and you don't have money to pay, guess where they're going to go get the money from? Where do you think they're going to get the money from? Right? They're going to go get the money from your bank account. They're going to garnish your checks. They're going to take away from that 401k that you had at your job. These are things that they can do to you because this is the stuff that's in the fine print. Okay. And a lot of us don't read the fine print of most of this stuff. Okay. We just sign it and go to work. Okay. If you hold XRP, you are beyond blessed and highly favored. I need y'all to understand that. Now, I want to play a quick clip from Paul Barron. This guy is absolutely this. Like, people ask me, who do you listen to, Vincent? Who still has enough information to hold your attention? Because it really ain't that many people no more on YouTube. I don't have that many people I listen to. I don't have that many mentors. I go out and I find my own research. I truly do. I search high and low. And this is one of the places I go is Mr. Paul Barron. Okay, shout out to Mr. Paul Barron. He brought on one of the leaders. I don't know if this is the CEO or what, but there's a huge exchange called LCX. Okay, I'm going to play this quick video for y'all so you all can hear what's going on.
What would be the future here for you guys if you were to choose now? What I can tell you is it won't be on Ethereum because they need a different settlement layer, which is much faster and probably also offering a hybrid model between private and public disclosures. So if the Bank of America would step in, they don't want to disclose all their transactions like it is on Ethereum.
Well,
so it will be a hybrid model.
There's a blockchain out there. XRP Ledger would be a good one. You know, you could go right there to it. And oh, I like that. Okay, that's all I needed.
That's all we needed.
What would be the
Y'all saw that wink right there, right? Y'all saw that little wink right there, right? So, you know, he said LCX will not build on Ethereum because of the fees. So guess what? But he said, what about XRP Ledger? And he said, he gave him a little wink, right? That is absolutely incredible. So I looked up LCX. Over the past 24 hours, LCX has traded $21 million. Okay. Their token, LCX, has a market cap of $110 million. Okay. They have a blockchain agnostic approach. The LCX token itself is issued as an ERC20 token as of right now, but it sounds like they're getting ready to jump over into another blockchain. Could that blockchain potentially be, could that blockchain potentially be XRP Ledger? Well, only time will be able to tell. Okay. Last thing that I have to show y'all is this right here, straight from the Federal Register, which is the daily journal of the United States government. The Federal Register.gov. This is the daily journal of the United States government. This is what the head people in the United States read to get real news. Let me show y'all what they just dropped in here on 3/17. This was yesterday. Self-regulatory organizations. The NASDAQ Stock Market LLC noticed the filing of proposed rule change to list and trade shares of the Grayscale Hedera Trust, HBAR, under NASDAQ Rule 5711. What does this mean? It will be a commodity-based trust shares. It's over. I got to take a lap. Good God. Are you? What? Y'all, I don't know what else to do. Okay? Look, I don't know what else to do, y'all. Okay? Look, y'all, let's read into this a little bit. Pursuant to Section 19B1 of the SEC's Act of 1934, Rule 19B4 thereunder, notice is hereby given that on February 28th of 2025, the NASDAQ stock market filed with the SEC the proposed rule change as described in items 1 and 2 below, which items have been prepared by the exchange. The commission is publishing this notice to solicit comments on the proposed rule change from interested persons. So let's read number 1 and number 2. Number 1 says, self-regulatory organization's statement of the terms of substance of the proposed rule change. The exchange proposes to list and trade shares of Grayscale Hedera Trust under the commodity-based trust shares. The shares of the trust are referred to herein as the shares. Wow. Number 2, self-regulatory organization statement of the purpose of and statutory basis for the proposed rule change. In its filing with the commission, the exchange included statements concerning the purpose of and basis for the proposed rule change. Discuss any comments received on the proposed rule. The text of these statements may be examined in A, B, and C below. Number 1, self-regulatory organization statement of the purpose of and statutory basis for the proposed rule change. Number 1, the purpose. The exchange proposes to list these, right? These Grayscale shares, okay? Let me see if I can, I don't want to read all the way through it, right? Let me see if I can find something. Okay, the administrator and the transfer agent of the trust is expected to be BNY Mellon Asset Servicing, a division of the Bank of New York Mellon. Okay, so that's the first thing. We got BNY Mellon handling this. Okay, now the index provider for the trust is CoinDesk Indices Inc. CoinDesk Indices Inc. Now, we went over this before, y'all, and there's actually, you got to remember, CoinDesk is now owned by a guy that was actually huge on Wall Street. We went over this probably like 100 episodes ago. This was a long time ago. I don't know if y'all remember that, but CoinDesk was actually bought out by a guy who used to be a huge executive on the Wall Street. Okay, now, operations of the trust. Okay, the trust assets consist solely of HBAR. That's what it says. The trust assets consist solely of HBAR, the native token of the Hedera network. Each share represents a proportional interest based on the total number of shares outstanding in the trust assets as determined by the reference of the index price. So they're about to turn HBAR into a commodity, y'all. Y'all about to see it happen. Y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the mic or drop the coffee cup real quick on y'all, man. Look, I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. I was really excited to show y'all that particular thing right there, that article from the government, because that proves to us even more that what we've been investing into and the technology we've been investing into are the Googles, the Amazons, the IBMs of the Web3 space. And we've done a damn good job here at Coffee and Crypto on discovering those and continuing to show you all the partnerships and the new publications that's coming out. And we are grateful, including myself, to have you all a part of our barista community here at Coffee and Crypto Network. With that being said, I want to open it up for anybody that has one thing you like, learned, or loved, okay, about today's episode. Feel free to go ahead and raise those hands up to all of my people over here on Zoom. And as we wait on hands to be raised, I want to make a couple of announcements. Announcement number one, okay, until the end of this week, I have opened up 5 spots for full year coaching. That comes with 4 quarterly events. You get to come to our you get to come to, not the boot camp, excuse me. You get to come to, you get all of our master classes. You get everything, right? But you get a full year of coaching with 1 quarterly meeting per quarter, and then monthly meetings that you can also set up and book as well. Me, myself, and our other strategies are looking forward to working with you all. If you are looking for a coach, you can jump in with us right now. I only have 5 spots available until the end of this week. I don't care if I sell 0, 1, or all 5. They're done at the end of this week. Okay, it's going to be $2,500 for the year. Okay, right now our regular pricing is $8,000 for the year. Okay, I'm giving this discount just because, guys, I have to help more people. Right? It is a necessity. Necesito. Okay, it is necesito. Okay, to help people. Okay, and if you have been looking for the help, if you're looking to plug in with us here at Coffee and Crypto, and you want to start gaining this education, you want to really, take your investments to the next level, you can work with us for the entire year instead of working with us, here and there. You can work with us the entire year. You'll get a huge discount. It'll be $2,500 instead of $8,000. And whether anybody wants to do it or not, this will be over with at the end of this week. You can make your deposit. We do have a deposit plan where you can make your deposits, and you can pay monthly on that as well. So it's completely up to you. If you're interested, you can text me at 678-460-6504. Again, that number is 678-460-6504. And remember, if you miss this deal, you will be paying $8,000. So think long and hard on it. Think if you need this help. And if you do, let's figure it out. Let's get you on a payment plan so that we can help you execute this year. Thank you all so much. And I'm going to go ahead and call on my good brother, Billy. Go ahead, Billy.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
She's figuring to prick my hand, so I'm gonna try not cry like a baby on this thing. Hey, look, How does that grayscale uh, differ from what we hold? Is it
Great
just gonna
question.
make
We hold.
what we hold go up? Or?
Yeah, we hold the asset. We are Grayscale, right? We are Grayscale. Grayscale owns the asset. They own HBAR. They have to buy a lot of it, right? They buy a whole lot of HBAR the same way they buy a whole lot of Bitcoin. They put it into an ETF. You got to remember, even gold has ETFs attached, right? Even real estate has ETFs attached. They're called REITs, REITs. REIT. I forget what REIT stands for, but they're known as REIT, right? So every asset in the world has an ETF attached. Now they are doing the same thing with these digital assets. So when you purchase a REIT, you don't actually own the physical real estate. You own a stake in that, right? So it's the same thing over here for the HBAR ETF and and what they're proposing with the SEC to change it over to a commodity-based ETF. And if you look at the price of commodities, right? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. What is the price of the cheapest commodity on earth and what is it? Let's just see what the cheapest commodity is on earth, right? I don't know. I have no idea. So let's see. Do any of y'all know that answer? I don't know, but we're about to find out right now from ChatGPT. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just waiting on chat to let us know what it is. They're clarifying. They say they're clarifying the cheapest commodity right now for us. Let's go ahead and get it. My bad, y'all. Let me actually push this back. My internet's running a little bit slower this morning. However, once I get the answer, it's looked like it's searching for that right now. So once I get the answer,
Are you doing Grok? Are you doing Grok?
Right now, I'm using ChatGPT. I have Grok too, but I'm using Chat. Okay, here it is right here. In everyday life, yo, they just made me mad.
Oh no.
Hey, this said the cheapest commodity is often considered to be air. This says $0. All right. The next cheapest commodity with a price. That is hilarious, y'all. I did not even think about air. Hey, ChatGPT crazy, huh, for that one.
For real.
But no, so like, but just to get back to what you were saying, Billy, you never get to, when you buy into an ETF, you don't actually own it, right? You own it when you go over to an exchange and you buy it, and then you take it off of that exchange, and then you put it inside of a cold storage wallet. That is when you own it. And that's exactly what BlackRock does. That's exactly what the NASDAQ is doing, right? They're purchasing it, a lot of it, and then they are renting. So when you're buying an ETF, you're basically renting. So it's the same thing as renting a house. So it's like you could have bought the house back in the 50s and the 60s for $2,000, right? But you waited until the house became $2 million, or you were born once the house became $2 million, and you don't have $2 million to spend on it. So it's the same exact thing when we look over here in crypto. Is you could have bought HBAR for 2 pennies when we first told you about it, right? You could have bought it for 2 pennies. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. My boy said the cheapest commodity we can buy today is natural gas, according to Google. What's the price on that? Okay. What's the price on that? The price of around $3.97 per million British thermal units, right? So I'm just trying to show y'all that every asset has a price point. But the number one asset in the world right now, okay, and this is what I'm about to show y'all right now, the number one asset in the world right now, and it just hit another all-time high, is gold. We've surpassed $3,000 an ounce. Now we're at $3,027 an ounce, right? Imagine if we put this on the weekly chart and we go all the way back, right? We can go all the way back to when, like, maybe when, I don't know, Billy, do you mind telling us what year you were born?
61.
1961. Big bro was born in 1961. Let's go back to 1961 when Billy was he was a young Billy then, you know? He was young Billy then. 1961. Let's go over here real quick and see. We were at 1961. We were sitting at around $35 an ounce back in the 60s. Today we're at $3,000 an ounce. Right? So it just puts it in perspective that even gold has been in an ETF. And for people that have owned the ETF of gold since 1990s, they really missed out because they could have owned the entire thing, right? Actually owned it instead of renting it since the 90s, since the 80s, since the 60s.
Make this analogy to you. It went up as much as it was in 1961 last night. At $34.
I know. Yep. I placed a buy in my sleep last night. I woke up and I was in profit. I placed a buy on gold. I just knew gold was going up. There was nothing else for me to talk about. I just said, I put 2 buys on gold. I woke up to $300. I closed the trade. I could have stayed in and probably been up $800 to $1,000 right now because it's higher. But like gold is so predictable right now. You could just press buy on gold and put a low risk, put a very low risk compared to your account and just let it run up. That's what you could do for gold. I don't know about now. Right. But you could have when it was under 3,000, you could have.
Yeah. I was down 1,200 this morning on gold because I slept on it. I made me a little trip yesterday, did me a little sale, did me a little this and that. And then I kind of forgot about it, because gold won't move that fast. Oh, bullshit. I'll never say that again. That is bullshit. So,
Y'all know that meme? Y'all know that meme, that baby that be like, bullshit, it's a little baby that be saying that. It's so funny. That's what it sounded like. But man, I appreciate you, Billy. Thank you so much. Look, y'all, I appreciate you all. You all know how to reach me. If you want access to our Discord group, you can gain access to that. It is $100 every single month. We have multiple trading calls. We have value. Only you can know the value. I want to ask you this question. 100 times 12 is 1,200. Is it worth paying $1,200 for a year for you to learn a skill set where you can make $120,000 in a year or $1.2 million in a year, right? You need a community. You need a community, a platform you can plug into. And in Coffee and Crypto, we have been, like the mask says, smoking. Right? We have been absolutely smoking. All right. Everything that we have been calling out has been effective. We called out a trade last week that went up 200-300% in 2 to 3 days, y'all. So we really truly appreciate y'all. And for those that want to join us, feel free to click the link in our bio and join us today. If you want access to our full year coaching, you know how to also access it. You can text me at that number that I gave y'all. With that being said, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see y'all on Thursday's call.